or they don't have to just do it because they trust me. It's also I have something solid to tell them, okay, this is what I'm thinking, this is what we can make, this is because at the end of the day, when you're working with someone, it's a business. There's a lot of there's a lot of things that are involved in that process.
It's not going to step back. So it's if we can embrace and use it. And also I think that the clients or the market that want a painting or that want something like handmade.
I think it's an interesting process how artists and creative people are using AI as a way to explore their ideas and then turn them into reality as well.
The running of the days and you have to work and you have to make money and this is the world we live in. We don't have time and to create.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Arts to Hearts podcast. And today I have someone joining straight from Brazil with us. Welcome to the podcast, Hannah. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. I'm good. Thank you for having me here. Very excited to talk to
Thank you so
you.
much for being here. Okay, Hannah, before we move forward, why don't you introduce yourself for everybody who's listening right now, who you are, what you do, where you're based? Just let us know.
I'm Hanna Inaiáh. I'm a fashion and a surface designer and an artist and digital artist. And right now I've been working with artificial intelligence. And I'm based in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, to be more specific. And yeah, I'm a mom.
You're a mom. That's important. Um, Hannah, like you said, you've you're a digital artist, but you've also been recently working with AI, and I think that really interested me in the sense of a lot of imagery that you've posted, and it's been quite interesting to see the work that you've been creating with the assistance of AI and how you've been playing around with it. And there's a lot of perspectives for artists. And very different viewpoints on what and how AI is. I wanted to ask you, how have you approached AI, and how has it evolved in your own practice, and what you're doing with it?
Well, when I first came to Instagram, it was during the pandemic.
Oh my goodness, you have 129K followers. So that is how long? How long you've been on Instagram?
4 years now.
4 years. And so you've grown tremendously. That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy for me. I still have to. Sometimes I'm like living a dream or something, an alternative reality. But I had my own um, products brand. I design bags, purses, and swimwear. You say like for like swimsuits, yes, and swimsuits with my own designs because I'm a surface designer. So I do this surface design and I do my products.
I love what you're wearing.
Thank you. And this is from Farm Rio. This is not mine. This is from Farm Rio.
Okay.
And so I sold I used to go to these events to sell my my products. But during pandemic, we didn't have this anymore, so we had to stay home, and I could not sell my products and I could not work anymore. Before that, I was a year. I had stopped it for a year because when my kid was born in 2019, and when I went back to working, it was pandemic. So I had all these designs and I thought about selling them and for other brands. So I went to Instagram and I started to show my work and to talk about it. And I wanted to help other people to people that wanted to work with surface design but didn't know how, because when I began it was very hard to get into the market. So I started talking about the surface designing, textiles, and all fashion design, and what I do, what is my work, and posting my work. And then I started having clients one client, two clients, three, and then I had a lot of clients, and I was working a lot, and for many many very nice brands from here, from Brazil, from Rio, and from abroad, from other countries. That was crazy for me. That was, oh my God, this is really a very nice place that we can show our work. And I had this growing community in my area in surface designing. And when artificial intelligence started to appear for us, I was not into it. I wasn't looking for it. I had a lot of work. So, but some of my followers, they started asking me a position, my opinion. They wanted to know, Hannah, what do you think about artificial intelligence? Because a lot of artists are afraid that this will steal our jobs. We won't have jobs anymore.
Yeah, there's a lot of controversy around that, right?
Yes. And I was not thinking about that because I was working a lot, so I was not curious or thinking about it. And but I started seeing some works in fashion, and I saw a work that was from this brand La Casita de Wendy. I think they're Spanish, and they made all these images, amazing images from these coats, these designs, and they made it to reality. So they started something, they made these designs with artificial intelligence, and then they brought it to life, to the real world. They made it, and I thought, oh my God, this is something. This is amazing. And the images were very beautiful.
Just like yours.
Thank you. And I really, that really made me interested in understanding and more about it. So I could even talk about it, because if I don't know it, if I had not tried, I cannot talk about it. And that's when I started. It's been like 10 months. It was on almost a year now that I started with Mid Journey.
Yeah.
And then at the first, it was very frustrating because I was not getting those amazing images. I was like, oh my God, this is not working. I don't think this is for me. This is not easy, as some people say, that you just put some words,
Oh, yes, absolutely not.
and then you have an amazing image. No, it is way much more complex than that, and complicated, and you have really to understand and to put the right words. And I always say that the work you do with artificial intelligence depends on what your baggage, your luggage, your what you have of your references, all the things you have, all the time you're working with in your area. If you are a designer or if you are a photographer, you have your own references, and that's what you have to put into the artificial intelligence. And that's what, yeah, your results, that influence in your results, the results you will have. So then I kept doing it, and I wanted really bad to make those beautiful images. And then I started to get some nice things. I
This is all through Mid Journey so far.
Yeah, only Mid Journey. And
Only Mid Journey, nothing else.
no, I only use Midjourney. I have a funny story, because when I started with Midjourney and I had to pay for the pet the
Subscription.
yes, I did not know very well what I was doing, and I didn't understand really. They do some tricks that you can pay more, and I was like, okay, I'll pay this month for experiencing the tool, but I don't know why I paid for a year. And I was like, my God. And I tried they were found that I didn't want for a year. I just wanted 1 month, but it wasn't possible. They didn't answer me. And now I had this year to play with Midjourney. So, okay, I have,
So you thought you've already spent that money, now you make the most of it.
yes, now I will make the most of it. And it worked. I think everything happens for a reason. And they really got me the time I needed to to get the results I did. And and this,
What was your first like hurdles in the beginning? Because now the way your work looks, I think it has this kind of really, it really does not look like, like you said, those images really look like very close to real, and they're also very beautifully made. um I will also dig in from some of your older works, but how long did you take to evolve at this level that you're doing now, and what has been your own experience in the beginning to now? What changed for you that you were able to?
Well, now I figured out a lot of things in the tool. I didn't go to a course or nothing. I just saw some short videos at the YouTube to understand a little bit more. When I want to do something that I can't get the result I want, I go on the internet, Google it, and how do I get this or how do I get that? It was very me experimenting myself the tool. And today, every day, I learned something new, and the tool Mid Journey is always getting better. They are always getting better. From the day I from the when I began to today, it's much better. The quality of the images, it got very much better. And I use the same prompts that I did at first, but now I get even better results with those. And I made this that I think that that is something very very nice that you can put the the your personality, the personality of your work into the images. And I work with surface design and I work with textiles. And what I wanted with this tool was to experiment in that way, like experiment the textiles I could make, the designs I could make to inspire other designers, to inspire my work, yeah, to make it to take it to another level. I say because we when because I do I'm a small owner, a business owner. I'm small. I'm not this big brand, so I don't have the money to make those real things. Because people question me a lot, when are you going to do these codes and when are you going to do this or that? And I say, well, when a big brand finds out that I'm working with it and see my things, maybe we can do it together because alone I cannot. And I'm thinking about when I started in fashion, when I got my degree like 15 years ago, to have that tool and to use it to show how I could design something. This is crazy. This is when you have now the students, even the students have this opportunity to show close to reality how they could, how the ideas that we have, because I believe all of us are creative in some level. Né? Humans are creative, but sometimes with the running of the days and you have to work and you have to make money, and this is the world we live in, we don't have time to create, and we don't have time sometimes to make the money, we don't have the money to create something so marvelous like that, so big, so rich like that. So now we have the chance to show our ideas, our creativity, and this is very very amazing for me.
What were your initial fears when you thought about AI art, if you had any?
My fears.
Anything, if yeah, you don't have, you had no doubts, like, there are a lot of people, oh my god, my art will be stolen. Somebody says, oh, it's not I'm not doing it by hand, it's not mine, it's not this, that, or just complicated. Though you are a digital designer, so I'm sure you're a little bit better adapt to things like that. But it just being that how to operate just a new software mid journey, and like how to figure this out.
That's for me already. The copies from other artists' works already happen without artificial intelligence. So all the time we see big brands, or even, and who makes the art for these brands? I always talk about that, because when we talk about big brands, we forget there are people there that work there, who make those design, who made those designs. It's not the brand, it's the designers that work for them. And for us, it's a very, I think it's very complicated, because sometimes we are hired to copy others, and we have to work.
Yeah.
So if you say no, I won't copy, and then okay, then you won't work here. So sometimes it's very, very complicated because small brands want to copy the big brands, and designers do that all the time. And artificial intelligence for me is this brain like ours that have all these memories, because how they built artificial intelligence memories, or how it gets there the information. It's like a big memory, and you can use it. You can use it for the right reasons. You can be ethical using artificial intelligence, and you can use it for the bad reasons, like we already do with Photoshop, with other tools. So the problem is not artificial intelligence. The problem is the humans that use artificial intelligence. That's why I don't. And for me, it took my work to another level. I used it, and after I used it, I had a lot of clients, new clients that wanted to work with this new tool. And so for me, my business only grew. So as it happened for me,
I think it's also because you found a way for it to really empower your art. Like, if you're making these patterns now, the images that you've recently shared, like I love the one that has Frida in it, and it's hugging a crocodile. It only showed how creative you are. Not only like, you're just not plainly adding um something onto something. There's so much thought and creativity that one can see how cinematic those images feel, the details that you've added. And I truly wish if somebody makes those clothes that you've projected via AI, I mean, they would look tremendously amazing. What's like, once you're saying this, it's not only the brands. One an artist I know from India. He started creating, and he's really doing amazingly well since then. He started creating these AI art, right? And they were inspired from India, and he started creating these visions of sculptures, and they started blowing up on the internet. And when it did, he had these a couple of ideas pulled together. And when he saw that he was just trying to experiment with AI, looking at sculptures, evolving his own existing work. And when he did that and he shared a lot of the images on the internet, it started to blow up, and they were very interesting. When he saw that that work was getting a lot of response, he actually reached out to a gallery, pitched the work, and actually created the work in real life. Now, I see a lot of artists doing that, where they use AI as a tool to play with their ideas to create something. It's like also testing your ideas without putting in a lot of money, and also knowing, okay, this is something now challenges the audience and me. And he did this like huge, I don't know, really tall, I don't know, probably 10, 12 feet, big glass sculpture. And it looked fantastic. And that wasn't something he could have just created, like, not everybody has the resources. And when we do, sometimes, like, I think it's an interesting process how artists and creative people are using AI as a way to explore their ideas and then turn them into reality as well. It's like, I don't know, not literally, but when we draw ideas in rough and sketchbooks and then we convert them into bigger paintings and products, it's like taking that to another level.
yes, that's how I think too. That's when you can really. It doesn't make the time you spend with creating shorter, because sometimes people say that you spend less time doing that than you would do drawing it. It's not because of that. It's because when you use this tool, you can see it more realistically. Like, oh, this is really how it would work, how it would feel, how it would be, how it would look. So now that I see, I can make it. And it's a very realistic form of seeing this, your final work, this experience. And it's
I think it's also not only communication with one's own self. Sometimes, like, as artists, I think we have this innate. We like to work in the curiosity and ideas, and not always need something in reality. But I think the biggest barrier for artists have also been like, if I have an idea and if I'm not good enough to communicate that to you or attract an audience or a project, now with AI, what I have in my mind can come onto screen and I can pitch it to other people, so that they don't have to get into my head, or they don't have to just do it because they trust me. It's also I have something solid to tell them, okay, this is what I'm thinking, this is what we can make, this is, because at the end of the day, when you're working with someone, it's a business. There's a lot of, there's a lot of things that are involved in that process. And it does make sense when artists are able to do that and create, advocate for themselves much more strongly.
And we cannot run from it, because it you cannot run from it. It's like this is here now, like internet, like all this happening, and it's not going to step back. So it's, if we can embrace and use it. And also I think that um, the clients or the market that want a painting or that want something like handmade, they still have market for that, because it's different, it's not the same thing. So I sometimes I get some hate in Instagram because of my art. And
There is no Instagram without some love and hate both.
yes. Another day, someone was saying, "Oh, why don't you hire some photographers, and why don't you hire the people to make those codes?" And I said, "Well, if we make those codes, we still have to hire the people to make those codes, because right now they are only an image. So this image is not stealing the work from the workers, the people that will make those codes. And now we are even making more work for people. More we can employ more people, because now they can really see, the brands can really see what I can do, and so they can hire me as a designer, a digital designer, and we can hire these people to make all that come to real world. We'll have to make those pieces. We will need a photographer because they you cannot put some when you put something real into the mid journey, into the artificial intelligence, it totally makes it doesn't steal the same image. It always makes into something else. So we cannot work with something real into the artificial intelligence. So we would have to make those pieces, and then we would have to photograph. We would need a photographer, makeup artist, everything, all these people to make that real come to reality, come to life. So it's not stealing nobody's work. So that's how I don't know, that sometimes people don't really get to think before they say something.
I think when something new and challenging is coming, it moves the system, changes the system. There's always acceptance and there's always questions, and which is great. I think there should always be people questioning things, so that we can always, be more cautious, more aware, more careful on how we are doing, and create a better ecosystem for everybody. But also, there's no change is easy, no, for nobody. It does. Even when the internet came, there are so many people with online buying, online selling. Now today it's become a second language, and it's not that people are not doing it offline, but there's another way for us to do something. It's helped a lot of people, so I'm sure there is something better for all of us out there. Tell me something. For anyone who's interested in getting into AI art, either ways, like, to brainstorm ideas, to make more, let's say, pitches like you, like, shoots and stuff, or just experimenting. I think a lot of artists I've seen, they try and they're unfortunately not able to get to a point where they feel like, yeah, it's really good, and they quit. Can you give us some tips for someone on how artists can use AI in the process, and how they can, a few from your own experience where you feel like, they can improve their work?
Well, when I started doing this alone with only these ideas I had, and I didn't know how to work with it very well, and I was putting some very basic words into it, and it was very basic work and images. So it was most like a lot of image that we see around there. And when I started to going through my books, I have a lot of fashion books and illustration and arts and ornaments. I love arts and ornaments, and the story of the surface design is something that I study a lot. And I went into these books and I tried to find those the right words, like art movements. And to when I put that I want this model to be wearing something, I always say the colors I want. I say everything that I want in this. I always work with my images have a lot of puffer coats, because I think when more textile I put in the image, more you can see what I want to show, that is the design in it. And you can see my image have the design, everything. It's the walls.
But are those designs like via the AI, or are those designs somewhere like with the patterns that you've created? How does that work?
I already tried patterns I created also, that I pick a design of mine and I put into the mid journey, but it won't still the same. It makes it mix it with something else and makes it. And it's nice to use our designs for like colors, so it picks the colors of our images. And or if you are an illustrator and you like to draw figures, because I mostly draw design as repeated patterns. So if you want to use an element, or if you like to draw figures, you can put your drawing into the Mid Journey, and you can ask Mid Journey to draw in your style, to create in your style. That is possible. So you will create a lot of things, different things. Like I want this, I don't know, something. You pick something in the style of the image that you put into, and it works. It does. So that's a lot of tips that we can use. You now you can put your picture in it, and you can ask the Midjourney to make those images with your face, with my face. I didn't do that yet. I did that with Frida Kahlo, and yes, that was very like first time when I tried something like that. It was amazing. And you can use the words. You can use the your work and the words that are involved in your work. For me, it's fashion, so I always ask for the 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 type of clothing I want, all the details that I want, the sleeves, the everything. So much as you more detail you give to Midjourney, more you have the right results that you want. You can be not so generic, like to like
How detailed is what do you suggest? How detailed should an prompt look like to create an outcome of a good quality outcome?
I always put the colors I want, the
Patterns, like you also have these images with 3D objects coming out. How do you go that far?
the patterns. Yes, if I want this, I always say what elements I want. Like I want this alligator hugging a kid, and the kid is wearing this coat with daisies, or this coat with flowers, or this coat with, and they are in this lavender field, or they are in this lily field, or something like that. I always everything is, I imagine everything: the clothing, the people, and the place they are.
So you're already creating something in your mind also.
Yes, and it's very. I really need to get to the image that I thought first. So sometimes it takes like weeks, and sometimes I cannot get the result I want, and I just go to something else, and then I go back to that. So because there are images that I want to make, that maybe at that time I don't have already the information necessary, or I don't know enough to get that. But as the tool gets better and as I learn more, sometimes I go back to that project that I had, and oh, now I can do that I wanted, and I can really get to the result I want. So sometimes it takes long, it takes a lot of time, and sometimes you're doing something, trying to get to something, and you get to something else. It's like painting. It's like any art that you're doing, that sometimes some mistake makes it, you love the mistake and it's interesting. Yes, it happens too.
And what about how do you have any ideas for? I see that you've made mock-ups. Do you also make mock-ups via AI for your own surface pattern?
I didn't really work with that apply. I didn't apply that to my work, but I know that is something that we can explore, and that's amazing. Because when I started on Instagram, I did not have ever worked with a brand, and I didn't have good pictures of my designs. I had the pictures of my products, but very bad pictures because I'm not a photographer, so I don't have the right lights, and I don't have, and so it wasn't like something catching. People would look like, okay, that's good, but that's not amazing. And I started to buy my mock-ups from Creative Market, these realistic mock-ups, and that's when people started looking at my work and saying, whoa, because they thought that was really a product, that was really something that existed. So they could they could see how my design would really look in real life. So that's when I started growing, and I started being able to sell my designs, because before that, when we post only the repeated design like this, the drawing, it does not work because they cannot see how.
People want to imagine. They need to have a desire to want something, something they can look at, find a another great tip is like, even in marketing, you have to sell people where they can picture themselves using something. Like a lot of times the images of using something works the best because it connects people. Okay, I want to feel the luxury of having a cup like that and drinking it in the morning rather than posting just a picture.
It's like using that design, they will live that life, and they will experience that picture, that reality. Yes, that's how our brain works. And so I had to buy these mock-ups, and now that I had Mid Journey, I could like make it my own mock-ups that no one.
So you make your own mock-ups as well?
I already did for test on Mid Journey. I do, but I didn't use them yet to post or anything, just to try the designs, because it's since I grew from the using artificial intelligence in Instagram, my life got like crazy, because a lot of work, and a lot of, you know interviews. Yes, that's amazing. But sometimes I don't have time anymore to experiment something, or to make something only for me. I always have this works to do for my clients. I always have a client. That's amazing. That's great. I'm not complaining.
Amazing. What are you working on right now? Something that you want to share with us? Anything new, exciting? Anything that you want to share with us as a project?
Well, right now I'm thinking about, people have asking me a lot, my followers, to have this to teach them how to use Midjourney, how to use it.
Absolutely. I think it'll be a fantastic idea.
And I am not this great with internet and with making videos and stuff like that, but I am learning, and I am studying that to see how I can do that. So right now I am thinking about doing that course, to teach people, to teach other artists and other designs how they can use artificial intelligence in their work. And I try to make short videos. I wanted to start with short videos on Instagram, but for me it's very hard to make those videos. And yes, yes. And but I want to stop. I also sell brushes, the brushes I created to draw. And so I want to maybe focus on the brushes, so I can have the time to make the course for. I want to make the course.
I love the embroidery brushes that you have. They look so good. So good.
Thank you. I created them for myself, and when I was using, a lot of my followers started saying, "Hey, I want that. Where did you get that?" And I was like, "Oh, maybe I can sell it." And it went great.
Oh, you can. I think it's fantastic.
Yes, and I want to make more. I love to make brushes. I love to draw, and I love to create, and I love to make some.
I love the aesthetic of your work because I also have like I love embroideries and I come from fashion. So it's like your page and your work is like the best blend of what there's so many animals, flowers, colors. It's wonderful. Thank you so much for your time, Hannah. I think this is such an incredible episode. I think a lot of people can, from this episode, they can learn how just your curiosity can lead you to create so many exciting new things. And um, as much as I agree, there should be questioning, but also if anything is new, there's always that means there's so much room for experimentation to play with something and see what it turns out to be, you know before we really make our opinions and all of that. And also sharing so much more beauty, I think, is again, and with the work that you're making, you're also putting so much of a more beauty out there. So thank you so much for doing the work that you do and keep doing the amazing work that you're doing. One last question: where can people follow you and find you and support your um, mm, how can they support you, how can they buy the brushes and anything else?
Yes, I have the brushes, and my brushes are on Gumroad. I have a Gumroad shop. They can find me on Instagram, Hanna Inaiáh, and there I have the link for my products. And yes, I'm there. I'm always there talking to the audience about designs and about our work and how I do it and how we can make it better for us.
Amazing, amazing.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so much. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you for being with us, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
and thank you for the work you're doing. It is amazing.
Thank you so much.
Bye.